Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jenny Annie Dots and today we are playing Beck and Pines. We are on to chapter 4. We're supposed to have dinner with Beck's parents. So let's get into that. Or not. There we go.
Dinner with the Moodwills.
Moodwills.
Ilona Moodwill was worried about change. A gardener at heart, she understood the necessity of change. Relied on it, even. But there was a difference between the controlled world of her plants and this cluttered cottage in a strange town. Almost done. Nellie was a blur of activity, digging through boxes. Sorry, love, couldn't find the dishes. We'll have to make do with paper plates. Dinner went by without much conversation. As she watched Beck and Luka finish up their pizza, Ilona let herself relax into the chair. The things she cared about were still here. Nellie finally had the job of her dreams. Beck was beginning to take root. Ilona's task was simply to tend to them. She could do that.
So Luka, tell us a bit about yourself. Where do you live? Oh, I live with my grandma. Over on the other side of the river. Your grandma? Where are your parents at? Beck, manners. It's all right. My dad passed away in an accident at the fertilizer plant 6 years back. Oh dear. My mom's been missing for a few months now. Like, missing?
Luka's eyes were fixed to his plate, pushing a chunk of pineapple around with his finger. Nellie was the one who eventually broke the silence.
Luka, how did you like the pizza? Oh, it was good. Very good. Normally, we'd have put in more effort into dinner.
Ilona nervously gestured toward the boxes.
We aren't fully settled in, and Beck had mentioned that it's your favorite. I'm sorry, are we just skipping the part where he said his mom was missing? Beck! I'm sorry, Luka. This mood has had us all a little tired.
Luka wiped his face with his sleeve.
No, it's fine. So, Beck said that you moved here for work?
Beck gave Luka a swift kick under the table.
Ow! I mean, what brought you to Beck and Pines? Oh, you were right the first time. We're here for work. Nellie won't tell you this, but she's a bit of a chemist. I don't know about brilliant, but I do love it. She's brilliant. Perennial Harvest just made her the newest lead researcher develop... Oh my gosh, that is a big mouthful that I cannot read for some reason. Blah, blah, blah. Perennial Harvest just made her the newest lead researcher of deep engineering. She makes it sound more impressive than it is. I'm just happy that I get to make a difference in the world. Perennial Harvest is at the forefront of evolving agriculture into something more useful than sprinkling water and excrement on the ground.
Luka glanced over to
Excrement.
Beck. She seemed to be holding her breath.
What Nellie means, Luka, is that there are different ways to grow plants. Yes, some people talk to their plants and hope for the best. And some people happily leave their job to allow a loved one to pursue their dream. You swore you didn't.
Slammed her fist into the table. Perhaps harder than she intended.
One sec. Come here. Are you going to say hello to the people in the camera? No? Okay. I'll let you out. I've released my cat from my office. Hey, Luka. How about some dessert? I actually have to meet my friend Rolo soon.
Luka glanced outside to gauge the time. The sky was darker than he expected, filled with ominous clouds.
Looks like there's a storm brewing. I should get going. Oh, I didn't think there was any rain in the almanac. Yeah, almanacs aren't that useful around here.
Luka wiped his mouth one last time with his napkin and started to get up.
Thank you all for the pizza. It was really good. See you at the festival, Beck. Wait up. I'll walk you home.
Surprised, Luka turned around. He knew Rollo could be prickly around new people. But Beck seemed cool. Rollo would warm up to her eventually. Probably.
Oh. Luka began to respond, but the sky answered for him as the clouds above began to rumble, break, rumble.
Luka began to respond, but the sky answered for him as the clouds above began to rumble with ominous thunder.
You sure you can make it home before the storm kicks off?
Luka surveyed the roiling clouds.
I'd say the odds are good. Maybe you should stay here and I'll just make a break for it.
At that moment, the heavens opened up, unleashing torrential rain.
Oh! Care to recalculate those odds? Hurry inside, you two, before you catch a cold. Luka, Nellie will keep trying to reach your gran on the phone. In the meantime, you two hold tight. Sorry, not much to do up here. Most of my stuff is still in boxes. Mind if I poke around? Be my guest.
Luka squinted into the eye hole of the microscope.
This looks wild. What is it? Gum? Gum?
Luka adjusted the slide with his fingers to get a better look.
I'm tracking the structural integrity of gum with increasing amounts of chewing. Chewed that one for 47 days.
Luka wiped his hand off on his sweater and gave a nervous laugh.
It's weird, I know.
Beck looked down, timidly tapping the ladder with her feet.
You think it's weird, don't you? A little. But weird can be cool. Oh, wow. Rollo and I have a radio just like this in the treehouse. Probably not exactly like this one. My mom and I tore the whole thing down to the bolts. Fitted it with some state-of-the-art vacuum tubes. She seems pretty awesome. She gets carried away sometimes. I think she feels guilty for working too much. So when she does have time for me, she showers me with high-tech overcompensation.
Luka flicked at one of the toggles.
I bet you can get all sorts of stations on this. Not out here in the boonies. You wouldn't believe the stuff I could pick up back in the city. But around here, it's all farm reports and static. Aw, shucks.
Luka bent down to examine the bouquet of wilting flowers. Judging by the odor, they were well past their prime.
Oh, pungent.
He flipped open the attached card.
Happy trails from Coach Walker and the Fairview Condors. Boy, you weren't kidding about poking around, huh? Oh, sorry, was this from your old school? The most recent one, yeah. Some schools gave me going away cards. Some did flowers. When they're really trying to feel good about themselves, they do both. So you've moved a lot. Yeah, that's the thing about having a brilliant parent. There's always a better job somewhere else. These flowers would last longer if you put them in some water. That's the sort of thing I would do if I cared. Well, you cared enough to keep them, is all. Luka, can I ask you something? course. Dang, didn't that hurt? I'll be honest. That hurt more than I expected. Well, at least you look cool doing it.
Beck took a moment to watch the rivulets of water running down the window.
Do you ever feel alone? Like, even when people are around? Well, Rollo can be pretty absent-minded sometimes. I'm serious. Does it ever feel like your family doesn't care what you want? It didn't used to feel that way. I know Gran loves me, but sometimes when she looks at me, it's like she's looking at a problem.
Luka took a deep breath, exhaling slowly.
I know the feeling. How do you deal with that? I guess I haven't yet. But one thing my dad told me when I was little, don't hold a grudge, especially against yourself. If you try to hold it all in, you're gonna pop. So then what do you do? When do you know what? So what do you do when you don't know what to do? Dad never got to that part. Something I've figured out on my own, though. You gotta do something. Anything. Here. What are you doing? I don't know. Something. We're gonna register our complaints with the storm. Listen here, you miserable universe. Stop jerking me around. I just want things to go back to the way they were. Everyone tells me it's gonna be all right. That things are gonna change.
Luka let out a feral scream that echoed into the night.
Every time something changes, everything gets worse. Screw this town. Whoa. Let me try. Moving sucks. I hate it. I hate that I hate it. Why can't I just deal with it and be happy for my mom? Why can't we just stay somewhere?
Her voice dropped to a trembling whisper.
I just want to be a normal kid.
Beck brushed off her shirt and straightened up.
There. Wow. I actually feel a little better.
As abruptly as it began, the storm abated.
Thanks. I needed that. Me too. I should head out before the rain starts up again. Sure, I'll walk you out. See you and Rollo at the festival? Sounds good to me. Luka, don't let the universe jerk you around.
Beck gave Luka a light thump on the arm before heading in. Chapter 5.
All right. Okay. Well, we're going to end this here, I think. Yeah. That was a nice little moment between Beck and Luka. So sweet. But we got to get to Rollo next time. So, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. Leave a comment if you enjoy Beacon Pines and would like to see more, or any other game for that matter. And if you haven't already, subscribe because it really helps out my channel. So that'll be all from me, and I will see you next time. Bye!